Hi, I'm Tom and Nini, and today we're making a giant party-sized Cuban sandwich. It's got some smoked ham in it, there's some pork, there's some cheese. It's dreamy. So we're going to make a giant party-sized Cuban sandwich. We're going to do it on a full tiger loaf, and it's going to feed between 5 hungry people or like 10 normal people. It's got some smoked ham in it, it's got some roast pork, there's some Swiss cheese, mustard, pickles. There's all kinds of things you want in there, and all you need is this. Okay, here we go. Alright, here we are. Now a lot of people aren't going to like this because a normal Cuban sandwich uses a joint of pork. We're using a pork fillet, but this is going to be a lot quicker. We're going to make a couple of changes because obviously we're doing it on a massive scale. So to start with, we're going to use a pork fillet, which is here, and we're going to marinate it for a couple of hours or overnight if we can. So we're going to start by covering it with some orange juice, and then into that we're going to juice a couple of limes, and then you just want to throw the limes in with it. And then we want some herbs, we want some bay leaves, some sprigs of mint and thyme, and we want to crush them up a bit. And then we want some cloves of garlic. We're going to use about 4 or 5. We're just going to crush them up a bit. Throw them in. And then we just want some salt and pepper. So a good helping of salt and a little bit of pepper for some heat. You want to give that a big mix up, you want to leave it in the fridge for a couple of hours, and we'll come back and show you what it looks like in a bit. Okay, so once your pork's out of the fridge, it's had a couple of hours or potentially overnight, it's going to look like this. The orange has started to break down all the fats in the pork, and everything's going to do some beautiful things there. The garlic's going to smell immense. So, you get yourself a roasting tray, get your pork in, and get all of that marinated in there, get all of the good stuff. Now what you want to do is put this in the oven on 160 for about an hour and a half. And then we'll come back to it, we'll show you what it looks like then, we'll show you where we go. Alright, okay, so we've got our giant tiger loaf, and what we've done is we've just taken it in half straight down the middle. And then we're going to build our sandwich, because our pork's pretty much ready. We're going to get that out of the oven. And that's looking super pink. What we need to do now is carve the pork. So normally when you make a Cuban sandwich, you're going to use a roast pork of some kind. We've used a fillet, it's got a lot lower fat content, so we don't need to give it the second cook you normally would. So we're going to slice it really, really thin and use that as our base layer for our sandwich. Alright, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use all of this pork as our base layer on our sandwich. So get that and get that all spread out. Right, and then on top of your pork, we're going to put some smoked ham, some Swiss cheese, and then on top of the Swiss cheese we're going to put some gherkins. And then on the top slice of bread, we're going to cover it in mustard. For this, we're going to use sort of American style bright yellow mustard. And you spread that about. Okay, you want to put your lid on your sandwich. And then you want to put it back in the oven. It's still on from before, about 160. You want to put it in for 5 minutes. And then we're going to baste the whole thing in butter. While it's in the oven warming up, we're going to heat up something heavy to put on top of it. You don't have to heat it up, but I think it's going to help. So in this case, we're going to use a massive griddle pan. We're going to warm it up and then sandwich press the giant tiger loaf down. Okay, so after 5 minutes, you're going to take your giant sandwich out of the oven. I'm going to cover the whole thing in melted butter. Because this is health food. And then we're going to put it back in for 5 minutes with the butter on top, and then we're going to press it, and then it's done. So after 5 more minutes of going in the oven covered in butter, this is what your sandwich is going to look like. And now because they don't make sandwich presses for your house big enough to press this, what we're going to do is use a griddle pan that we've warmed up, or you could use a baking tray with something heavy put on top of it, and we're going to sit that on there and give it a... And we're going to leave that for a couple of minutes just to do its thing. That's going to press that down, the cheese is going to melt, everything's going to go perfect. And then we're going to eat some Cuban sandwiches and drink some beer. Okay, so there we go, it couldn't be easier. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've liked what you've seen. If you've had a wonderful time, I've been Tom McNeely. If you haven't, I've been the Hairy Bikers. Yeah? That'll do.